Welcome back to another episode of 7,000 Volts, Living in an Electrified Life. I am your host, LJ Tucker. There are people who don't just live life, they unite it. They don't just chase results, they invest in people. Today's episode is not just a memorial, it's a living alignment with purpose. This is to honor my godfather, my mentor, my friend, Mr. Stan Tangalakis. Mr. T lived 97 years, born in 1928, and entered eternity January 2026. And he did not just live a long life, he lived a faithful one. He understood something that scriptures makes clear. We're not called to produce outcomes, we're called to obedience. Mr. T didn't chase results, he chased faithfulness. The verse that captures his life comes from 1 Corinthians 3, 6, and 7. I planted the seed. Apollos watered it. God made it grow. So neither the one who plants nor the one who waters it is anything, but only God who makes things grow. Mr. T had a bigger than life personality, Greek to the core, and when it came to mentorship, he was all in. What separated him from most people was that it was never about the return on investment. He believed that if you could change the way a person thinks, you can change the direction of their entire life. And I'm living proof. I remember when getting in my troubles and I got incarcerated as a youth, and he came to visit me the first time in jail. He looked me directly into my eyes and he said, "You are not a criminal. You created a criminal act and this will not define you." And guess what? That's investment. In those kind words, that gesture really played a part in the transformation of my life. That's planting, that's watering, that's faith. Mr. T believed in seed faith. He believed in what Jesus said. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed is pretty small. A mustard seed doesn't look powerful at all, but planted in the right soil, it multiplies. In fact, a definition that I looked up says it's hard to destroy a mustard seed because once it's planted and get rooted, it just breaks off. It's almost like the Brazilian pepper that's invasive here in Florida, but you can't destroy it. Once that seed hits the ground and it germinates and it starts to grow, it's almost next to impossible to destroy that seed. My friends, I'm part of that seed that Mr. T planted in me. Mr. T planted seeds in people without needing proof they would grow. That's faith in full action. He planted seeds in people with no applause, no guarantees, just faith. Again, I'm a living example of that. Here's what I understand now. I am the return of investment, not financially, not publicity. Me, the spiritual part, the mental, and the generosity that I learned from him, the seeds that he planted within me as my godfather, as my mentor, is helped me become a great businessman, helped me become a great father, helped me become a great husband to my wife. I would meet with Mr. T on a regular basis in his office. I talk about him in my book, so if you already read my book, you know where I'm going with this. There are times, especially in the beginning of mentorship, when I came home from prison. I had a meeting with him at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I don't remember if I had a cell phone or not, but anyhow, I woke up late and I showed up late. I showed up about 15 minutes late, and he kicked me out of his office. He had some choice words for me. He said, if you have no respect for me, I will have no respect for you. Get out and reschedule an appointment and show up on time next time. I never forgot that lesson. That had to be over 20 years ago. And it really hit the core and shaped something in me, because I call him my mentor. He was my godfather, but he was more like a father to me because I didn't get that. My grandfather died when I was 10 years old. So to get that type of discipleship and somebody to invest that type of time when he didn't have it to do, to invest that kind of time and talk to me like a man. And it was confusing at times. Some of the stuff that he would tell me for his business and what the expectation should be in life just kind of went over my head, because it was like, it was too much. Like I couldn't comprehend it. But he still planted that seed. There was times I told him, well, I don't understand. I don't know what the next step is. What should I do? And he just kept fostering that belief in me. He kept meeting with me. He invested in me. He invested in me financially. He made sure I went to school to get an education. I can go on and on and on. And I don't think I have the right words, or there's enough words to describe what he meant to me. He invested in me when family didn't invest in me. He poured into me emotionally, spiritually, and I'm forever grateful, because it was something that I needed at that time. He often told me different stories of his childhood growing up as a Greek in America. His family came over from Greece and built a life here in America. I think, if I'm saying it correctly, they had a candy store outside of Michigan where he grew up. And those stories that he used to tell me of his childhood and how he made it in business, it was almost like reading a book, because something inside it leaped and I wanted more in life than what I had settled for, in the beginning. And he told me, he said, educate yourself, learn as much as possible, and you will attract a beautiful woman that's smart and educated that you can spend the rest of your life with. He was talking about his wife, Mrs. T. He was like, he was lucky, he got blessed when he met his wife. He said, you can do the same. He said, keep your damn pants up and you will attract the right woman. He was right. He was absolutely right, because I met my wife, Adele, and she was the right woman. And it's because of that mentorship, that leadership, that I was able to forge a good life for myself. His expectations was quiet, but intentional. And because of his contributions to my life, my responsibility is clear: to continue building people, men, women, boys and girls, the same way he built me. Mr. T had a phrase he lived by: what's the next step? Not the fullest staircase, not lifetime plan, just the next step, the next obedient step. So my next step is to continue living an electrified life, not to honor his memory, but to fulfill the investment. He didn't need big recognition. He believed in small faithfulness, small acts done consistently, and God did the growing. Mr. T lived by a simple question: what's the next step? I remember sitting in his office and we'll talk about 15 to 20 minutes and he'll always hit me with that, what's the next step? I'm looking around like, I don't know. I don't know at the time I didn't know what the next step was. And not the whole plan, he would say, not the full picture, just the next faithful move. That's how he lived. And that's how his legacy continues within me and all the others that he poured into. Mr. T didn't leave behind buildings or titles. He left behind people. Lives changed, minds renewed, seeds that are still growing. Some plant, some water, but God brings the growth. Thank you, Mr. T. The investment is still multiplying, and the next step is already in motion. God bless.